today, which is Mila. Would you like to tell us what you're playing, and we'll hand you over to Tasmin.
I'll be playing the first 3.5 pages or so of Szymanowski's first Violin Concerto.
Great, which is actually the piece that I haven't yet learned, so Mila's probably going to be teaching me rather than the other way around.
We're going to sort of stop and miss out some of the tutties, if that's all
Yes,
right.
yes.
So.
enjoyed that. That was a fantastic performance I felt you gave. I felt like as if you really, first of all, the love that you have for this piece completely shows itself. And there were beautiful, beautiful colours, wonderful phrasing, and very, very good intonation, make a lovely sound. So, what am I going to say to you that might be of any value, bearing in mind the fact that you know this piece far better than I do? Nevertheless, I have heard it on several occasions, and I played his second violin concerto, which is actually a very different work to this one. This one is much more overtly impressionistic, much more sort of Polish Debussy kind of thing than the second violin concerto, which is has a great deal more muscle to it. I think the most important thing about this piece of music for a successful performance, the performances that I've enjoyed the most, have been the ones where I felt that the violinist has got this amazing array of colour, like the best artist in the world, with every single colour and tonal variety in his palette of paints and brushes, so that you can have the finest nuance, the finest expression. And I think that what I'd like to try and help you to do is find a few more colours, so that your basic sound is really lovely, but I think that you can probably make a few different kinds of colours within that sound. And obviously, from a practical point of view, playing a piece like this with a full orchestra, you've got to think about projection. That's very important, because Szymanowski always writes for a huge orchestra, and so you've got to think about battling against that. But within that, you can still do a certain amount. And another thing that I'd like to draw your attention to is how you sustain a phrase through your line with your vibrato. Because, for instance, in the big theme, they sometimes I was aware of the vibrato on each note rather than just the whole phrase. So sometimes it felt a little bit da 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 da, you know what I mean? And what I want is to have just literally that that whole gorgeous phrase as in one breath, in one violinistic or outpouring. Okay, I'm just going to move you over a little bit this way, just so that I'm not talking this way and people can still see, if that's sort of comfortable, perhaps over here, and then we won't worry about the bow. Right, now, one of the best moments in the whole piece, to my mind, is your opening note, our opening note, this E flat, where we've had the orchestra playing, and then literally from inside the canvas of the orchestra, you become aware of the presence of the solo violin. It's completely magical. And I think one thing that you could consider while you're joining that colour, if you're getting to play this with orchestra, but even if you're not, it actually would work perfectly well as well with piano, is don't announce your presence by making an entrance as such, but just think of yourself as in that texture, and then just walking forward into the light where you will be seen and heard. Maybe try senza vibrato, start a little quieter, but then you can add some pressure with the bow. Okay, so in practice, what's that going to mean? That's going to mean that you'll probably start a little bit tasto, so rather than where we'll hear you very clearly, you start a bit tasto, and then you put more pressure on, you come closer to the bridge, and then you add some vibrato. All right? So shall we just see if we can make that first entrance be even more beautiful than it was just now? So perhaps just a few bars. That's right. On your bow. But it was great, I hardly heard you at all. Okay, try that. focusing. You need to be tasto. Just try a couple of times yourself. That's it. If you start on the side of the bow, so tilt your bow a little bit. That's it. That's it. Now flatten the hair. That's it. That's how you do it. Okay, so start on the side of the bow and gradually add more hair, as it were. Yeah, you're a bit too far over to the fingerboard now, but that's it. And use it. Yes, that's it. That's it. Yeah, perfect. That's very good. Okay, so now let's add that. Absolutely amazing. It was brilliant. Great. Now, this first phrase, tell me what you think about it. Where are you going to in this phrase? Where, because at the moment, it's beautiful now what you're doing, but I don't get a clear idea of your line, of your phrase, where it's going to and where you're coming away.
I think first I'm going to there.
Okay, great.
Sort of going forwards to about there.
Okay, fine. So then I think what you need to do, do you remember that I spoke just a few moments ago about how you sustain a phrase so that we're not aware of the notes as such, but we're just aware of the line of it. So when you're thinking of that, really think very much in a linear way, but each note is drawing the phrase inexorably to this point here, which is the one that you want to go to. Then from here, I think you can use a little bit more motion in the bow, all right? And then you can scoop up beautifully to your top B. Okay, great. So let's just go immediately on your entrance, which was immaculate. That was so beautiful. Well done. Okay, so just on that entrance. It's all one colour. I think you need to develop it more. Okay, so you're slightly adding more pressure. I think you're a bit, you're starving yourself of bow. I think you've got more bow, and I think that I think you can sing it a little bit more. It's still mysterious, but it can be. I think you've just got more bow that you can use. Okay, have another go at it. Come on. All the time on just this phrase, but it's really important because it's the opening one. If you're going to that, that's the one that needs to be louder and have more vibrato, okay? This is what I mean, and actually I think it's worth just spending these moments on here because this is going to be applicable to almost all of the piece. So if you learn how to make that phrase and go to where you want to in this particular bit, you'll be able to apply that to all the others, okay? So that was now very good, but you didn't follow through here, okay? All right, so one final time, which is going to be perfect. Playing what's written, but there again, I lacked a sense of line. They were all the same. Da 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 da. I want you to think in every phrase in this piece now. Where am I going to? All right, because I think that's the. I think now we're coming down to it. That's the main thing that I felt you weren't quite bringing out, all right? It's so nearly there, but you need to really point it out to us because many people don't know this piece and they don't want to sit there thinking, well, this is all very beautiful, but I don't know where we're going here, all right? So you really need to make it a lot clearer. So where do you want to go in this phrase?
There.
No, that's you need to do something before then. So pick a place in this line here. What's the one that you feel is the most interesting one, harmonically, or the one where there's the most tension? I think so too. Good, lovely. So go to that one and then come away from it. All right? Okay, so let's try this next phrase now with that in mind. As your opening.
Yeah.
You need to announce that, yes, it says me again, folks, hi, I'm back. Okay, all right. It's fine, but I think you need to do more. So da 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 da. And when you're up at the top there, it's a little bit flat. And I was just looking at you. I think you need to get your elbow around a bit more. You need to be right up here, almost with some space there. Because at the moment you're down like that. So just you need to move your elbow up and around a little bit more. So just try that once on your own. Just let's get up to the D.
Oh, so all the way.
Yeah, yes, right, exactly. Well, but I want you to learn how to climb up to the top of the mountain. So. All right. Sorry, I'm going to just stop you. You need to know how to find that A. So when we've got to try and pluck something out of thin air, which is not easy, like first position, you have to think, how are you going to find this A? That can be a bit hit and miss. So you have to think, how am I going to do it? There's various ways of doing it. One thing that often as violinists we can find is third position. That's quite a good secure one. So what you can do is you can think, when you've decided on your route there, you play it out loud. Or I just often go, I find that quite easy. But if you don't want to do that, you can do. Then you do it silently. So decide which one you want, and let's just work out which one you're going to do to find that A, because it hasn't been quite right yet. That's it. Yeah, play it a few times. It's a good idea to do. And play it nice and confidently. That's it. Okay, now silently. That's it. There we are. All right, good. Okay, so and now you know how to find your A. Now let's find the D. So, that's it. Keep going. That's it. Keep your violin high. That's it. Perfect, that's exactly right. So all that needed to happen was you just need, as you're progressing up, you just need to keep your violin high. Quite often people, when they go up, they think, oh, it's really scary up here, so they go low. But actually, that, as my wonderful Hungarian teacher, Mr. Feneves, told me, when you want to actually get higher, what you do is you put your scroll right up, and then in fact, instead of getting higher, you're going down, you see, physically. Just a kind of insight. Anyway, but really, it actually doesn't do to have the violin too low, because it doesn't give you the confidence to expand to a high note, and the D is a high note. But it doesn't, if you can just give yourself that space and really, have the confidence to keep your elbow around so that you're not trying to use the length of your finger to find the note, and it's got no support, you can't vibrate properly anyway. So you might as well go the whole hog, lift your elbow around and support the finger that way. Okay, right, good. So let's have this whole phrase now with a beautiful D, and I did wonder if you needed another bow here.
Okay.
I just felt that maybe you might, you just might be able to feel a bit more comfortable after that. Anyway, it's not something for now, but you can just think about that and think, you can always then find your way back to your original bowing around here if you decide to take another bow there. But for the moment, do it as you've learned it, and then I really would like a crescendo here to this place which you have said you find the most interesting. So now let the audience hear, because they can't see what I was pointing to. Let's see if they'll know now from the way you're playing it, the one that you find the most expressive. Good, let's do that second phrase again. Yeah, just well, we have because it's such a beautiful moment, sadly. By the way, wasn't it obvious we're the ones you like the most? There you are. Yeah, that was really well done, well done. Now, what about this? We need a different colour here, don't we? Because we've had a few already, but let's find a different one. Don't I think we could do something like that? So really, really light bow. And then, you see, you can really do a lovely crescendo through there, going right up to that top moment there. And if I were you, I'd be doing that on an up bow, in fact, because then you can really go. And then you're crescendoing on an up bow, and then you can. It's easier to be lighter at the tip. Yeah. Rather than at the bow, when you've got the full weight, the frog when you've got the full weight of the bow there. So I would find a way to, you can take another bow here. And so I'm here, again, somewhere near the tasto, and again, senza rubato, crescendo. And then intensify the vibrato, okay? Just have a go at that one from 12, and then unfortunately we'll have to stop actually. Let's just see if we can get a nice colour there. Okay, right. No, you actually have to use your bow. If you're going to be flautando, you can't not use your bow, because the only thing that you're not pressing, so the only thing that's actually going to make any sound is the motion of the bow. So you can't really go like that, otherwise nobody's going to hear it better. And then, as you're crescendoing, ironically, you can slow the bow, because then you've got the pressure which is creating the sound rather than the movement. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so a little more movement now. That's it. Now slow the bow, crescendo. But you have to, and you vibrate, and then you press more, and you slow the bow as you press. Okay, that's it. That's it. But you can still use the bow. That's what's going to make you give you a really good crescendo. I'm really pressing. I'm really close to the bridge, and I've got all the full hair there. really squeezing and getting the sound out of it. That's it. That's it. Now crescendo. That's it. Okay, all right. So basically, you want more movement at the beginning, and then a lot more crescendo. All right. Okay. I'm sorry we've got to stop, but anyway, well done, and thanks very much.
Okay, we now have a